This is 33-year-old Jonathan Keyless, and detectives would accuse him of being a monster for committing the most heinous crimes they had ever seen.
Jacksonville 911, what's the location of your emergency?
Did not come home from high school today. She go to County Park High School. Her phone is going straight to voicemail. Okay. You have no idea what she is.
What you just heard was the frantic 911 call her mother made moments after her daughter vanished without a trace on December 19th, 2018. Here lie the dismembered remains of 16-year-old, pregnant Iyana Sawyer. And this is her uncle who put her there. How did a bright young girl who had just walked out of her school that day reach such a nightmarish fate? What you're about to discover will leave you breathless. The viciousness of this crime is beyond anything you could ever imagine. An unthinkably sadistic plot, which we will unravel before you very soon. This footage was taken on the day police began their search, with Jonathan Keyless and his wife, Naomi Mobley, present. At first glance, he seems like any other concerned individual in the face of a tragic situation.
You know, we literally had their kids, her kids, for summers. You know, a summer at a time, and then, you know, weekends, all of them. And you know, it's just like, if we knew where she was at, we would have been the first ones to grab her.
When Kimberly first reported her daughter missing, the police were quick to label it a case of a teenage runaway. But as the days passed without any sign of Iyana, their concern deepened, and the investigation took a darker turn. Their focus soon shifted to Keyless, a man who claimed to be as distraught as the rest of the family. You'll soon discover that the truth about Keyless and the missing pregnant teen was far more terrifying than anyone could have imagined. It would go down in history as one of the most depraved crimes against a young girl. Now, Keyless finds himself in the interrogation room as a detective begins to uncover a trail that leads straight to him. But what exactly could have happened on that fateful day? As the investigation intensifies, the shocking truth is about to come to light.
One of the things that we're investigating, is with your niece,
yes.
Samaya.
Oh, Samaya.
Yes.
Okay.
So, what can you tell me about Samaya? Like, why do you think you would be here because of Samaya? I've been accused many times by the older siblings, well, the sisters and stuff, that I've been inappropriate with Iyana and Maya. And how would they think what would they think is inappropriate?
Well, let's say this. The first time that it was brought to anybody's attention, they didn't hear it directly from them. I heard it from like a sister, Margie. Okay. And she mentioned that that they think that I was the reason that Iyana was turned out, because she got caught in, having with a guy that was over 21 across the street. So, but prior to this, we've had complications in the family. They will pick on my wife. My wife has a little bit of, she needs medication to kind of stay level. Okay. But once my wife was almost having to get admitted into the hospital, I had it with them. I'm telling you, I could be under a truck, fixing on the truck, and I'll drop what I'm doing to come and help them move, or wherever the case may be. So with seeing my wife deteriorating the way she was, I couldn't deal with it no more. So I sent the mass text out to every last one of the sisters and said, listen, you guys got my wife. You have been picking on my wife all this year time. I've been staying out of it because this is a sister matter type of deal. I can't do it no more. I'm done with it. I don't want to hear none of your drama. You leave your stuff out there on the side of the road, wherever you're going to be. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to come and help you. I'm not going to do nothing. You've just been nothing but drama in my life and in my wife's life. I'm keeping my distance from you guys. From that point on, this is about, I'm horrible with dates. I'm horrible with times. I want to say about a year, maybe a little bit more than a year ago.
Okay.
And from that point on, it's been just rocky roads with me and the sisters. Jametta started. I think Jonathan has been inappropriate with Maya and Iyana. Mm-hmm. Now they question them girls separately, together, and it's been nope. He's never been inappropriate with me. And it's I don't have nothing to hide. I got kids older than them.
Jonathan was an uncle to the Sawyer siblings by marriage, a man who claimed to love them as if they were his own children. But behind this facade of a caring family member lurked his evil motives. This same uncle preyed on the very children he was supposed to protect. Iyana and her younger sister Iyana Sawyer were not just his nieces, they were his victims.
And the thing about the diary, it was written over from 2017 through 2018, and the same love was the same love the whole time. And it wasn't the kid across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last I checked was,
she's pretty, you're handsome. Let's just not even beat around the bush. And she's very clear. She's very clear. It's the same guy. And this is a diary that she goes back to over periods of time. Still talking about the same guy. So for a fantasy, it's a fantasy she's been repeating for over a year. And guess who's the topic of her fantasy?
Jose,
you.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
100%.
No.
So I also talked to Samaya.
Yeah.
Who's Jose? So Jose is my uncle.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not. I won't be surprised if they forced her to say that.
No, she didn't force when I was talking to her.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No, I made everybody leave. Like we had a conversation.
Yeah. That doesn't.
She doesn't. Samaya is a quiet person. But
this is crazy, dude. I'm like,
is not.
This is
like,
wow.
She is not as quiet as she is. She's a very dominant person, which is unusual. She has like a quiet power. Mm-hmm. I don't think you can get somebody to do crap if you don't want her to.
In a startling revelation, it's disclosed that Iyana was 5 months pregnant when she disappeared. Her letter, dating from 2017 to 2018, spoke of being madly in love with Jose. Given the context and the true identity of Jose, it becomes chillingly clear who the father of her child is.
And I gotta tell you as a woman, if I'm on bed rest with your baby, I don't want to find out that my niece is also with your baby. And when we have little play dates, and we have well, seriously.
I'm being very serious.
You're correct on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll agree on that. That's a non-starter. And when you say, well, I don't have any pressure, listen, you did.
I did not. I don't have any pressure at all.
Listen, not even birthdays, just the same thing. How do you even have Christmas? How do you have any holidays? Because the little baby Iyana would have had was looking a lot like the one you just had. Right? And that's evident from her diary, her 4-page diary, where she goes into great detail about how much she's in love with you. And on top of all of that, we have the DNA. Then we don't even know your brother. He found us. Are you kidding? He's calling us with details. You tried to choke her, and she wasn't dying right, and it was making you sick. Looking at her.
That is crazy.
Well, that's something no one asked for. Hell, I didn't even know you had a brother. He enlightened us. DNA is science. We can, that's given. She's speaking from the dead. She's speaking from the dead. 4 pages at different times of her love. Professing her love. And how she wants to run away. How y'all are going to just be that little family that I talked about. How when you're so in love, you just are gullible and you do whatever someone says. And if they say, hey, pack a couple bags, meet me on the edge of your school property, we're going to run away together. Oh, I believe she did it. I certainly do. I believe she did it. And I believe it's just a matter of time. And the question is, you talked about Samaya making you out to be a monster. Question for you, Jonathan. Are you a monster? Are you a monster?
Not at all.
Look at her face.
I could look at her face.
They need closure.
I'm not a monster. I had nothing to do with her disappearance. I had nothing to do with her disappearance at all.
So the whole family's off. Samaya's a liar. Your brother who loves you is just crazy. Right? Everyone's just circling Jonathan.
The last I spoke with my brother, he was all bent out of shape, and he was just like, yeah, I can't believe, I'm disappointed in you and all that there stuff. And I'm like, hold on, bro. You got this all twisted. I didn't do nothing. I have no idea what the hell happened with this young lady, any of that. So
then how did he have all those details?
I don't know how he had all those details. I'm sorry. I don't know how he had any of those details.
You told him.
No.
You know you did.
I did not.
Even after learning that his brother has confessed everything to the police, Jonathan stubbornly refuses to utter a word. In a foolish display, he continues to act confident, thinking he can outwit detectives and the truth and get what he wants.
Were you trying to kill her?
I never hit her.
I deal with people killing people. There ain't nothing worse than that, okay?
Yes, sir.
So don't play games.
I'm not playing games.
Okay, well, I don't believe that you don't hit her. Did you lose control?
I didn't lose control. When I spanked her, I spanked her, like I told you before, I hit on her back. I never hit her.
Okay.
I never hit her up here.
Stop there. This isn't a spank. This is hitting somebody in the face.
No.
Hitting a 5-year-old little girl in the face.
The 5-year-old mentioned in the footage is Zaria Robinson. She is the second child of 26-year-old Michelle Canamore. On October 18, 2018, Zaria was rushed to the hospital in Jacksonville, Florida for being unresponsive. What could have gone wrong with this little child? Who was responsible for this? This is 26-year-old Jonty Harris, a resident in Jacksonville, Florida, one of the primary caregivers of Zaria Robinson after her mother. The couple started dating in January 2018, and Jonty moved in with Michelle in July. He would often look after Michelle's 2 daughters when Michelle was away at work. Based on the incident that took place on October 18, 2018, the doctor who checked Zaria in the hospital called the authorities as there was physical evidence that suggested long-term abuse. Jonty and Michelle were interviewed by the police on October 18, 2018. This video analyzes the interrogation of Jonty Harris and his potential involvement in Zacharia's severe condition.
You have siblings?
Yeah.
You have a brother, sister? You have a brother?
Yeah.
You guys fight?
Yeah.
I did too. So that's why I asked that, because even me and my sister, we wouldn't tussle as much, but we'd fight a lot.
Her girls, no, I can honestly say, no,
They don't fight at all.
They never fought. It's not like, even when I first came around, I'd be joking like, oh yeah, come on y'all, let's go play fight. No.
Not a bit, huh? Okay.
No, there's not on that.
Okay.
Instead of throwing evidence in the suspect's face and pointing out how it doesn't match his story, they ask if Zaria ever fought with her sibling or was mishandled by any one of them. This strategy gives an opportunity for the suspects to come clean. However, if suspects don't, then the culpability of the individual becomes more apparent for the detectives to assess. Although Jonty gives an honest response to this question by mentioning the 2 kids never fight, he is actually narrowing the doubts of the detectives more than he realizes.
I need you to be honest with me, okay? Something's going on in that house, okay? And you and Michelle and the 2 girls were there last night.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it was just
Just
you guys.
us.
Nobody else there. And something happened in that house last night, and it's been happening in that house, that the medical evidence is going to be very clear. There's going to be no doubt of what happened and what occurred. Not only with the injury to the head, not consistent with falling in the shower and getting an injury there. There's other injuries that are on her that don't make sense. They don't make sense at all. And we will get to the bottom of it, but it depends where you want to be in this whole thing.
Well, like I said, me and Michelle, we don't do no crazy stuff like that. Like, that's what I know for sure. Now, as far as her falling and her injuries that we seen, that's what we saw. I didn't even know that the baby had other injuries around her, the little bite marks. I don't want to blame nobody, but I'm ashamed of what the hell is going on.
In this section in the interrogation room, a notable transition occurs in the power dynamic. The detectives shift from an indirect approach to a more confrontational one. Jonty's reactions to that are noteworthy.
He's only yelling, spanking with a belt, spanking with the hands. That's it.
What do you think happened?
I'm thinking that her injuries came from when she was running and we delayed on coming to you guys earlier before. I'm thinking from her probably exercising at an accelerated race and she's falling. It's probably causing all that. That's the only way my mind is pitching to that.
Jonty exhibits a strong reluctance to be forthcoming and continues to maintain a facade. The detectives respond by systematically deconstructing Jonty's narrative, highlighting key points in his story and pointing out where it lacks credibility. This tactic is meant to pressure him to recognize the gaps in his account and potentially prompt him to confess. They do so by emphasizing the severe nature of Zacaria's injuries, which strongly indicate physical abuse as the cause. Jonty maintains steady eye contact when directly questioned about his involvement in the violence inflicted on Zacaria.
That's when it first started. Everything started. You got in here with me probably about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, somewhere around there is when we started. It's almost 12 hours that we've been going and investigating. And like I told you, with the team we have, we got a team of people. You know, that 2 sergeants, state attorney. I went and saw a judge today. One of our partners went and saw a judge today. So it's not just me and Detective Devereaux. It's a whole team of us doing stuff. We've had people interviewing kids that specialize. That's their job responsibility. That's all they do is interview kids to get a better understanding and to work with them. So we've done a lot. Is she a pretty good kid? You said that she pretty. You threatened her with, "Hey, I'm gonna take your TV away," and she did whatever you say.
Just stuff like that.
So what about in school? Is she a good student?
Yeah. Usually she's just been getting A's recently.
Okay. So that's good. Are the teachers pretty responsive? I mean, does she listen to what they say and does what she's supposed to do? And with y'all, she does what she's supposed to do for the most part. You only have to tell her once and she gets it done, right? Now, what about does she ever tell stories? You know, little kids tend to tell stories or what have you. She usually a pretty truthful kid, you know, comparatively to others?
Usually. She doesn't be around a lot. Usually she does the same thing as zoning out. As far as like when watching TV and I go, "What you doing?" She was like, "Nothing," stuff like that. Nothing more than
But
like.
she's not telling big lies or saying that she's getting, you know, in trouble at school, getting F's, beating up other kids.
No,
whatever.
she doesn't get into fights. She doesn't.
But she's not saying any of that. She's not telling any stories.
If she tells you something, you believe her?
Most of the time, she doesn't really too much talk about much, but when she does, yeah.
Okay. So when she does tell you something, you have no reason not to believe her.
No,
Okay.
I do my investigation as well.
Okay. So that being said, we talked to her, and she gave us a totally different story than what you and Michelle were giving us. Okay. And that's what we want to figure out. Basically, our investigation's done. We've done everything that we need to do. Well, there's still steps we need to do, but to a certain extent, we know what happened. We know where it happened. We know when it happened, which is different at the time that you're telling us that everything happened. To a certain extent, know how it happened. We just don't know the why, and we haven't put it together to why these things all came together.
She has a skull fracture. Her brain is swollen and bleeding. She also has internal bleeding. Her belly is full of blood. She's got an injury to her liver, her spleen, and her colon, and is still actively bleeding inside. She has no brain function.
The detective here is not describing the injuries of an adult victim, but a 2-year-old girl, Fallon Fridley. The suspect on the other side is her babysitter, 29-year-old Kirsty Flood, and she's about to put out the most bizarre defense.
Exactly why my 2 kids are 100% healthy. Have you ever thought about that? You ever thought about that?
Yeah, I thought about it.
Okay, then think about it a little bit harder.
I'm not making this up.
She fell off a slide at the playground after that too.
But how did she land?
On her back.
So how would that put bruises on her forehead?
Oh my God, stop.
Behind the fake expressions, Kirsty is an actual monster. And very soon, her true identity would come to light as the most evil babysitter anyone had ever known.
I typically watch Fallon 4 days a week, roughly. I've been with my company for 6 years, so I'm getting paid unemployment to stay home. I'm also in school for cybersecurity. I have a newborn, a 3, almost 4-year-old, and Fallon is 2. Like I said, I'm with her 3-4 days a week. Me and her mom, we've been through a lot together. I helped her get sober a long time ago. Quite some time ago. I was reached out to saying that she was homeless and, strung out and, she wouldn't listen to anybody. And I was just like that one person that kind of just spoke to her, that she listened to, right? So it took her to detox. Fast forward. She went down to Miami, had Fallon in rehab with some scum. He's never raised her, never claimed her, never nothing. Mm-hmm. So I have a soft spot for Fallon. That's why I charge for $125 a week on a night. And that's nothing if the price isn't daycare.
It's not expensive at all.
No, and I do it because she's a friend, and I do it because I love Fallon.
Do you want to know all the issues that she has?
Yes.
Okay. According to the doctors in the ER,
yes,
she has a skull fracture.
A what?
A skull fracture. Her brain is swollen and bleeding. She also has internal bleeding, where she has, according to the doctor, let's see here, her belly is full of blood. She's got an injury to her liver, her spleen, and her colon, and is still actively bleeding inside. She has no brain function.
Oh my God, stop.
She's got bruises all over her body.
Stop.
She's got bruises all over her head. The external part of her head is swollen. She has bruises literally all around her head. I can show you pictures.
So that picture you showed me just a few minutes ago, she doesn't look like that right now.
She is bad.
You think it's the blood rushing to her head and all that stuff? When you're laying in a...
So when she was dropped off this morning...
Yeah.
How did she look? How did she act? Did you notice anything that was out of the ordinary?
Her dad just told me she had the flu. He had the flu.
That's it?
That's it.
You're saying that she got to your house, she was fine this morning?
It was 6 o'clock in the morning, and this is exactly what happened. We don't sleep because we have a newborn.
I understand.
He leaves at 6 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. He's gone. I lay her down with Harper half the time. They go to bed. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I try and catch some more sleep while I can with Holden. So I was sleeping in with Holden. She was in the room with Harper. They played.
Did Harper tell you anything about the dog doing anything?
I can ask Harper.
But she is making statements like, oh, dog did this all throughout the day.
Harper was in there for so long with her.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you don't understand. They were playing all day in there. I even have a text message that said they were playing all day. Now we're about to go to the park.
Yeah.
I said, in her room, they were playing all day. Did I not? Why would I say that? What? Come on, man. Don't do this to me. Don't ruin my life.
I'm not ruining your life.
No, you're on the cusp.
I'm trying to figure out what happened with this baby. I understand that.
No.
I'm trying to figure out what happened with this baby.
I did not do anything to that little girl. And you are not about to ruin my life over that.
I'm not doing that.
So I'm in the midst of getting my entire record cleared from 2000, back in the day, 2010.
Okay.
I have busted my ass in life to get to where I'm at right now.
Okay.
I'm like, so can I go? Can I get my keys? Can I go get my kids? Can I go do this? He's like, we'll let you know in a minute. We'll let you know in a minute. I'm like, are you taking me to jail? Like, are you about to ruin my f***ing life? They don't know. She's in critical condition. The other cop told me she was dead.
And now, after more than an hour of nonsensical statements, the detectives are ready to take the only action left to them when dealing with someone who refuses to tell the truth. Drop a bombshell piece of information.
Hey, Kristen. Are you actually fellow someone?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
What is this?
This is a search warrant.
For what?
We're going to seize your phone.
What?
Yep.
You can't. What?
Yep.
It's a valid search warrant, so
Valid
I'm going
search
to judge. So we need to take your time.
So how
Here's
does...
the deal. I just called the doctor, and Fallon is dead.
Within a minute, the detective delivers two big shocks. First, that her phone is being seized, and second, that Fallon is dead. This is actually a tactic to observe Kirsty's reaction one last time, and what they see speaks volumes.
No lie. She's at the morgue right now.
Wow.
She's gone.
Wow.
Her injuries were that bad that they couldn't save her.
Did you just hear that? So they're seizing my phone. So, I guess, how long are you gonna have my phone for?
Probably as long as it takes for us to process it, which could be 24 hours.
Okay, so, and then I come back here and get it?
Yeah.
We'll contact you to release it back to you.
Because I have Jeffrey's number. I can call him and y'all can come back and get it then.
I know. Alright, well, let me go ahead and, read over this paperwork before I give them my phone.
Let me have a copy to keep.
Okay. Alright, bye.
Kirsty is only focused on her phone being seized and shows very little interest in her loving and dear Fallon's death. However, her phone that has just been taken from her would soon solve the whole case.
Hey, can you make me a promise? Like, man to man? Can you tell me that she's alive?
You're gonna play the same word games that you played with me the other day?
No. It's not word games.
I got nothing.
Because we care, man. We want to know. This isn't gonna go anywhere. Like, this isn't gonna stop. So
no,
you know
it's not.
Hey, keep your hands where I can see them. What's going on?
You don't even want to. All right, I got nothing to say. Adam, right? Montgomery. Yeah. Do you remember me from the Elliott Hospital from a while back, man? Yeah, I got nothing to say. Right. So hey, man, the only thing we're trying to figure out is where am I? Okay. So the concern is that she has it, right? You're not in trouble. Nobody said you're losing your daughter, right? So I want to make that clear. Just want to let you know I have my body cam monitor, just like everybody else. So you just need to find out where she is. That's all I'm concerned about. You're not in any trouble right now that I know of. Okay. We have no warrants. Okay. So, where's your daughter so we can check on her to make sure that she's okay? Right now, I have nothing to say to you guys. But that's not what I'm just asking where she is. I have nothing to say. So you don't care if your daughter's okay or not? I do. Listen, I have nothing to say.
Adam Montgomery found himself in police custody facing second-degree assault charges related to Harmony Montgomery on the morning of January 4th, 2022. Manchester police questioned him, and despite the gravity of the situation, Adam remained composed, responding with a mere, "I got nothing to say," he maintained the same stance when arrested later that day on the same charges. Unfortunately for him, Adam seems unaware of the distinction between the two situations. When arrested for charges of second-degree assault, and that too of a minor, his silence will work against him compared to a situation when he is just questioned without any charges or warrants. However, before jumping to any conclusions, let's take a closer look at the events that unfolded in the past and led to this situation. Adam Montgomery and Crystal Sorey began their relationship in 2012, setting the stage for a complex family journey. Harmony Montgomery was born on June 7, 2014, to Crystal and Adam. The couple struggled with substance abuse, and Adam was abusive towards Crystal. Due to this, they separated a little while after Harmony's birth. Tragically, Harmony was placed in Massachusetts foster care immediately after birth. Adam soon married another woman named Kayla Montgomery and had 2 sons with her. The situation worsened in August 2019 when Adam's family home in Guildford Street in Manchester was sold at a public foreclosure auction. Yet the family remained in the property until they were evicted around Thanksgiving in November 2019. The family, which included Adam, Kayla, their 2 sons, and Harmony, were living in their car after being evicted. Adam and Kayla discussed staying at Kayla's mother's place with the children, yet Harmony's name was notably absent from their plans. Something happened to Harmony between October 2019, when law enforcement conducted a routine check at the family home, and November 2019, after which there were no more sightings of her at all. When he was arrested on January 4, 2022, Adam had already separated from Kayla and was initially instructed to not contact Kayla and her kids due to his criminal background. He was living with his new girlfriend, Kelsey, who did not know much about his past. Harmony had been missing for over 2 years at that point.
Explain to me how I'm trying to make you, or whoever is trying to make you out to be a monster. Who's telling you that stuff? Is there somebody from that I work with that told you that? Somebody you're close with, that they told you that?
No.
Alright. But you understand this whole thing is getting a little out of hand, would you agree?
Of course. But
so that's why.
No, it's just the way you guys are going about it.
And again,
yeah,
I don't
not you specifically, but
right.
Yeah, nobody comes out there like that for a second-degree assault charge. Nobody. They're arrested for worse charges. They don't come out and throw flashbangs at my girlfriend's car and ram us into the guardrail. They don't do that for a second-degree assault charge.
Again, you understand what the charges are, right?
Second-degree assault, right?
Yep.
Okay.
There's also an endangering the welfare charge.
Okay.
And interference with custody. Okay,
so how did I interfere with custody?
So that paperwork that we served you the other day, you remember that?
Okay.
When they were in the alleyway, you remember outside of on Lake Ave?
Yeah.
There's paperwork that you have to comply with. You understand that, right? We had that conversation, did we not? Right? So that's what that's all about.
Like so second-degree assault charge, what is this referring to?
Well, that's what we want to talk to you about.
Well, explain to me what I'm being charged with it. What I'm being charged with it for?
Well, your daughter had some injuries that you know about when you lived on Guildford Street.
No, I do not. What are you referring to?
Well, you were there, I wasn't, right?
Well, what are you referring to?
I'm referring to her having some good marks.
What are you referring to?
Marks that were left on her by you.
Absolutely not. I have nothing else to say.
So nobody is saying that you took like a baseball bat or like stabbed your kid. Like, I'm just going to put that out there. That is not what anybody's saying about you. Mm-hmm. So I know you're concerned with when I say second-degree assault, but it sounds a lot worse than I think you're thinking it is. Are we kind of on the same page?
Yeah, but for you to sit there and say that it was inflicted because of me.
We're just going on what we hear. You're not telling us how it happened, so we're going with what we have.
But I don't even know what you're referring to. What are you referring to?
Your daughter had a mark on her face that multiple people, have told us was inflicted by you.
Multiple people that weren't even living with us at the time.
Well, there was enough people that had spoken about it.
Yeah.
People share knowledge of what they know.
So somebody, you telling him, and then he tells you, and then he tells you, so something that just
No,
gets passed down the line.
It's yeah, I'm not talking about like a game of telephone here. I'm saying that people say a story and then the details kind of fill themselves in, like corroborate. Do you know what the word corroborate means?
Of course I do.
Okay. You're a smart guy. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but when people kind of fill in the blanks, that's what I mean by like we're corroborating that story. But this is your time to tell me, kind of explain that. You know, if you're saying this was a mistake or this was an
I don't even know what you're referring to. Like, that's what I'm trying to get at. Is I don't even know what you're referring to.
I'm saying she had a mark on her face. I mean,
I don't even know what you're referring to.
You don't recall your daughter ever having a mark on her face?
The reason DCYF came out to visit you guys, you don't recall that?
In the interrogation room, Adam's response to questions about Harmony's injury appears strategic and deflective. When asked, he acts as if he doesn't understand, possibly giving the detective multiple chances to clarify or correct their inquiry. This tactic seems to test if the detectives will make a more damaging statement about Adam. When the detective offers Adam an opportunity to share his side of the story and speak the truth, Adam counters by pointing out the perceived mistake in holding him responsible for Harmony's disappearance. Despite having sole custody before Harmony went missing, Adam vehemently denies any involvement. This is where you can clearly see him tensing up more. The repeated smoking of cigarettes also suggests the same.
Right now, all I'm trying to do is help your daughter. I want to bring her home, and I can't do that without your help.
Two significant points emerge at this juncture in the interrogation. In the span of just 25 minutes, Adam consumes 3 cigarettes, a behavior often associated with individuals facing intense stress. While it's known that he has a history of substance abuse, the severity of how it affects him becomes evident in this chain-smoking episode. The 3 consecutive cigarettes signal a heightened level of distress. Moreover, the detectives initially attempt to leverage fear of potential consequences as a tool to prompt Adam to divulge information. However, they swiftly recognize that Adam is not easily intimidated by this system. Subsequently, they shift their approach and opt for sympathy, aiming to establish a more personal connection. The detectives focus on appealing to Adam's emotions, particularly emphasizing Harmony's well-being in an effort to elicit a more open and cooperative response.
Dude, I can't do that without your help. Help, hey, can you look at me? Help me, please. That's all I'm asking for. I can't sleep until I know that she's okay. And I know that you know where she is or what happened to her, but I can't do it without your help. And if you don't want to look like this animal, because I don't think you are. Not that I don't think you are, I know you aren't. But I can only do so much for you, man.
I know.
I'm begging you to help me. Because as much as you're hurting inside, I'm also hurting inside, and I don't know how you can sleep at night because I'm sure it's eating the shit out of you. Am I wrong?
No, see, me and Pods, I know I'm not seeing my wife, I'm not seeing my kids, you guys are just playing games, like this is just...
Dude, but I'm not trying...
We're not trying to play games again.
Declan, Seamus, and then Sierra, right? Kiera. And then there's Harmony.
I got nothing else to say. That's it, guys. I got nothing else to say.
Can you make me a promise? Like, man to man? Can you tell me that she's alive?
You're gonna play the same word games that you played with me the other day?
No, it's not word games.
I got nothing else
Because we
to
care,
say.
man. We want to know.
This isn't gonna go anywhere. Like, this isn't gonna stop. So
No, I know it's not.
The man you just saw is 24-year-old Jared Harrell. In February 2010, he was arrested in Mississippi for having extremely graphic material related to children in his hard drive. His college roommate was the one to make this horrific discovery. But what he did not know was that this was not merely downloaded from the internet, but rather, these were Jared's own victims. The arrest was made on February 11th in a CVS drugstore parking lot in Meridian, Mississippi. After searching his laptop, amongst other photos and videos, one scared face looked really familiar. It was a child who had been on the news in Florida just a few months prior. That's when the detectives connected the dots and called the parents of Jared's victims. On October 19, 2009, Somer Thompson went to Grove Park Elementary School in Orange Park, Florida, but never made it home. As she was on her way back home, walking with her siblings, she strayed off the road and was never seen again.
I love you, and I just want you to come home.
Family, neighbors, and many others who heard about this disappearance frantically started searching for Somer, and several appeals were made for her to come back home.
Please help find Somer. Her friends and family miss her.
Somer's classmates were hopeful that they would see her again and sit next to her in class. But little did everyone know, the worst had happened. The case was cracked wide open when Jared Harrell was arrested months later and miles away. The only question left for the people who had prayed for Somer was, what happened to the child who went missing? And were there other victims? Watch along as Jared talks in detail about his crimes.
So I started to panic. I was pacing back and forth. I didn't really know what to do. The only thing I could think of was just to hide the body to get rid of it. So I went in the garage and I got one of the red Rubbermaid boxes. I put her in it and I closed the top on it. I took it to my car, put it in my back seat. I drove to Fleming Island behind Beauty and the Beef, and I put the box in the dumpster. I drove back to the house. I got her stuff that was scattered around. I put it in a trash bag. I don't remember what kind of trash bag. I just grabbed one of the trash bags that were in the hall, and I put it in my garbage can.
And why did you pick that dumpster?
It was familiar to me.
Okay. And then I thought you told me because it was sectioned off or something.
It was closed. It was bricked around.
Bricked around it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jared Harrell calmly explains the events of the day when Somer Thompson ended up in the backyard of his home at 1152 Gano Avenue. Until now, detectives and everyone else involved in the case had hoped that Somer would be found alive, but Jared immediately confesses that is not the case. He even gives them the location of the body immediately. He says that he disposed of the body in a restaurant dumpster, but since that dumpster had been cleared already, the detectives had to go to the Georgia landfill to find her body. It's chilling to see how normal he acts while explaining the last day of an innocent child.
Didn't you say maybe a blanket?
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay. And you said this blanket. I mean, are you pretty sure there was a blanket in there, or are you?
I don't really remember looking. I just kind of had it over here. I popped the top open, and I grabbed her.
Okay. And you said earlier because you described the bin as like a storage bin,
right?
And which I'm assuming they're not real big, but you said that when you put her in there, you kind of had to, I wouldn't say fold her, but kind of bend her a little to get her in there.
Yeah.
Do you remember if she was laying, how she was laying when you put her in there, how you had to put her in there? Did she lay on her back with her legs up, or do you remember if she laid on her side, or?
I think it was on her back.
So you just kind of laid her straight in, so she was facing up, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. When you were trying to make her be quiet, and you had your hand over her mouth, you said you didn't remember exactly how long you think it was before she went limp?
I don't remember exactly.
Okay. But that's the point that you noticed that she had urinated on herself.
So, is it possible either before or after she passed out that you would touch her somewhere else, either to maybe lower her to the floor, or like I said,
it was all done in an extreme rush. But I mean, like I said, if when I lifted her up, I could have got underneath her shirt, as I was lifting her up, or
lift her up.
Yeah, lifting her off the ground into the
box. Okay, you just kind of went up over your head. I was confused.
I mean, you know how when you grab somebody, you're trying to lift them up. You know, their shirt might slip up or something like that. But
Well, and you did say before that she was kind of tiny. I mean, so you know, you got big hands, you can cover a lot of area. The one thing I want to check with you is, and like I talked about, I don't want to embarrass you. I don't want to make you feel bad. I certainly understand it. That it's something you can't really control. And like I said, I've talked to a lot of people that can't control certain things. You know, they can't control it. Drinking addiction, they can't control addiction, they can't control addiction. And you certainly don't pick what you're attracted to. I mean, there's a certain kind of woman that I like, a certain kind of woman Kenny likes. Other people like men or the same. You know, that's how you come. You come out of the box and you're kind of predisposed to liking certain things. It's like being epileptic, you can't help it. You know, the computers and stuff like that. Is it possible that you moved her close to be able to see some stuff before you put her in the box?
I mean, I didn't do it purposely.
Finally, the cases surrounding Jared Harrell's many crimes come to their conclusion. For 3 separate crimes, he was charged with 1. First-degree murder, 2. Kidnapping, 3. Battery, 4. Conduct. In February 2012, he was given 6 consecutive life sentences so that he could never roam free. In the end, the mystery surrounding Somer Thompson was solved, but its answer was worse than anyone could have imagined. Somer's parents had just wanted their child back, or in the least, they wanted to know what happened to her. But when they were wondering what could have happened to her, they likely never imagined that the world is full of monsters like Jared Harrell who prey on kids.
On June 13, 2017, a tragic event occurred at a mobile trailer home on the 200th block of North Green Meadow Street in Gaines Township, Michigan. At around 10:45 a.m., paramedics responded to a 911 call reporting an unresponsive 4-year-old boy, Giovanni Mayhaus.
You know, out there when I told him to go outside, you know, and so I'm in the kitchen, I'm trying to give him CPR and blowing his mouth so he can get air until, you know what I'm saying, somebody comes and then all of a sudden, up, you know, and that's when we're both in the kitchen trying to give him CPR and stuff. And
Okay. It's okay. It's all right. I know this isn't an easy thing to talk about. I'm sorry to make you have to go back through it again, okay?
It's like I'm the only one, man, like, out there wrong, you know, like this, you know, I took the initiative to step up to the plate like I have my own kids. You know, I love my kids, I see my kids, I take care of my kids, and I feel like it's my fault, man. Like I couldn't do nothing.
What made it so worse to make you think that he got into something?
I mean, I did have drug, you know, a drug there, you know, but it wasn't like, I don't think it was like exposable to where he did.
A drug being? As
in, you know, a narcotic.
Very different.
No, different.
What did you have there?
Cocaine.
Okay, where was this at?
This was in my drawer.
All right. How much was there?
Probably like a little 20. It wasn't nothing big.
Powder or
no, it was powder.
Did you go check it? Was there any missing?
No, like I had some in a baggie, and then I had some like on a mirror thing.
Yep.
That was it.
Was there any missing off the mirror?
I wouldn't be able to tell.
How much coke was there?
It was only like a 20, like 22, something small.
Do you still have coke in the house now?
No, I don't.
Where'd that go?
Used it. Okay. So aside from the coke being out, you've been sick off and on.
That's what made me real curious about that day, you know. I didn't want to say it, though.
Well, I appreciate you being honest. I mean, let's be real here. We're talking about him. I'm worried about him. I am some cocaine. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. Is there anything else in the house that?
No.
I mean, whether you want to say it or not, we just want to make sure that.
No, there's nothing. No drug, no gun, no nothing. No.
Okay. Well, all right. And you don't think? I mean, based on what you saw, you wouldn't know if you got into it. But again, playing with it, you would think that he would like, knock it over or whatever, or he would wipe it off. He wouldn't know what that is, to be careful with it. So he wouldn't take just a little bit. He'd mess with the whole thing.
Well, I mean,
right? I mean,
I don't know, them kids, man. Kids
to keep you busy.
You don't know. Them kids are smart, man. For real.
So it
was from this morning. I know that.
Was it wet though? Before he got in the shower, were his pants, when he got out of bed, were his pants wet?
No. His drawers were wet.
His underwear?
Yeah, it was just like a misty pee, like he ain't pee a lot, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But the shorts that he had on wasn't wet, but when I took the shorts off, taking a bath or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like the drawers had a little bit, you could tell like they had a little bit of pee on them.
Okay. And when he got up out of bed, did he walk to the bathroom on his own, or did you carry him?
No, I held his hand, I held his hand or whatever.
But he walked?
Yes.
Okay. And did he look ill this morning before he got in the shower?
He did, it was like a lazy walk, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, dude, man, are you okay? Because I always ask him every day. I ask all the kids, like, y'all all right, you know what I'm saying? What's going on? How's our day going, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, Nelson, I don't feel good. I'm like, all right. So, I put him in the shower or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Did he say anything hurt? My head hurts, my stomach hurts, my back hurts. Did he say anything specific?
Did he
have these marks on his body anywhere?
He didn't tell. Well, he always got little bruises on him from fighting and stuff like that. So
where did you see bruises?
Probably I saw right here, then on his legs, and then like when his body had cleared out or whatever, and the blood wasn't circulating through him. I saw bruises where I was pushing that, trying to get him to puke or whatever.
So you saw one right here?
No, I think his left side.
Left side of his upper chest, or by the collarbone?
Yes.
And then you said on his legs?
Yeah.
You know how long those have been there?
No.
Have you seen those before this morning?
Yesterday or whatever, we saw the bruises or whatever. We was fighting or whatever. The case may be he's a kid, he fell or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah. Yep. No, I hear you. I have you're saying. I mean, they're always going to be hurt.
Yeah, but the fighting they do is this ain't like a normal fight,
So for him, physically,
I mean, hurting him, yeah. I mean, this, you know what I'm saying?
How regular does this happen?
Almost every day.
You were saying he choked me, he did something to me, he touched me. He did how many times?
Probably 3-4 times.
Over what period of time? Over the last month, 2 months, 3 months?
Well, we just found out about this about two weeks ago. Yeah, probably 2-3 weeks.
So he told you 3 separate times over the last 2 weeks. What do you think is your best guess as to what happened here with him? And I'm just coming in, and my partner, we're just coming in here kind of blind to try to figure this out. And you know the family a lot better than you. What do you think?
I don't know. Seriously, I don't know. I don't know. This just kind of out of nowhere, and I'm trying to help him, but I'm like, damn, what the.
No, I hear you. And if we aren't asking you to tell us something you don't know, we're right now just trying to, put it together in our heads of exactly what's going on and get kind of up to speed. So if you had a guess or an idea of what could have happened, let us know. We're just here to figure this out.
I understand. Seriously, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, if you think he got into something? Do you think this is an illness? Do you think it's, he fell down and hit his head? I mean,
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just know he just woke up this morning and he just told me he didn't feel good.